Okay, so let's run a quick scenario. Picture this. You need to control a really powerful computer.
Maybe it's running something critical, like a factory line, or handling secure data.
Right. But for, safety or just plain logistics, that machine is located, say, 3 football fields away from your desk.
And you need to see the screen perfectly with zero lag on your mouse, and you even need audio.
Yeah, and to be clear, you can't just run a super long HDMI or VGA cable.
Oh no, you'd lose that signal before you even got out of the room, really.
So how do you bridge that gap? Today, we're doing a deep dive into the NTI ST-C5USBVA-R-1000S.
That is a mouthful.
It is. Let's just call it the NTI remote unit. It's a VOPEX 4 or 8-port USB KVM plus audio receiver.
Which is a technical way of saying it's a box that lets you control one computer from multiple spots using a keyboard, video, and mouse, the KVM part.
So the mission here is to push VGA video, USB, and audio up to 1,000 feet.
And this is the kicker. It does it over standard, cheap CE5 or CT6 cable.
Okay, hold on. Let's just stop on that number for a second. 1,000 feet.
It's a long way. 305 meters.
My phone charger barely works if the cord is 6 feet long. How are they keeping a clean signal over a quarter mile of basic copper wire? Analog signals usually turn into a blurry mess.
Well, it's less about cheating physics and more about actively correcting for it. The real enemy over that kind of distance is something called skew.
Skew? What's that?
Right, so inside that CT5 cable, the little wires for red, green, and blue are all twisted at slightly different rates.
Okay.
Over 1,000 feet, the electrical signals for those colors actually arrive at slightly different times. The red signal might get there a tiny fraction of a second before the blue one.
Wait, so the colors are literally time-traveling at different speeds?
Exactly, and on screen that looks awful, like blurry, bleeding colors.
Ah.
This NTI unit has automatic video quality and, crucially, color skew adjustment. It senses the cable length and electronically delays the faster signal so everything lines up perfectly.
So it fixes the time travel problem. That's actually pretty brilliant. No more fiddling with tiny screwdrivers on the back of the box.
None. It's all automatic. But, even with that tech, there's a bit of a trade-off. There's what we could call cable logic.
There's always a catch.
Well, it can handle resolutions up to 2048 by 1536, which is massive. But to get that, you need to be within about 600 feet.
I see.
If you push to the full 1,000 feet, the max resolution drops a bit to 1920 by 1200.
I mean, 1920 by 1200 is still fantastic. It's better than full HD. And considering you're using cheap Ethernet cable, that seems like a totally fair trade.
It is.
But let's talk about who's using this. This isn't just a super long extension cord for one person.
No. The real power here is scale. This system allows up to 8 remote users, plus a local one, to all access a single computer.
One brain, many hands.
Exactly. And those hands can be doing a lot more than just typing. It extends full USB.
So keyboards, mice, what else?
Interactive whiteboards, touch screens, you name it. And it carries stereo audio, too.
The specs mention a fully transparent USB connection. What does that actually mean for the user?
It means the computer has no idea you're 1,000 feet away. To the PC, it looks like your keyboard and mouse are plugged directly into its own ports.
And NTI seems to have built this for the real world. I'm seeing rugged steel construction, surge protection.
Oh yeah, this is meant for a factory floor or a server room, not just a clean office.
Which brings us to the price. It's about $425 for the remote unit. That's not exactly a cheap dongle.
It's not. But think about the context. You're not buying it for your home office. You're paying $425 to protect a, say, $20,000 server by keeping it in a secure, clean room.
While allowing someone to use it from the messy factory floor.
Exactly. When you look at it that way, it's actually cheap insurance. Plus, it's TAA compliant, so it's good for government contracts.
Before we wrap up, I saw a note about DDC mixing. I know that can be a real headache with splitters when you have different monitors.
It's a classic problem. You plug in 2 monitors, one old and one new, and the computer gets confused and defaults to the worst resolution for both.
Or sends no signal at all.
Right. This unit basically talks to all the monitors, figures out a resolution they can all handle, and tells the computer to send that one. No more blank screens.
So to sum it up, this NTI unit is a really robust way to centralize your computer hardware while spreading out access pretty much anywhere you need it.
It just completely removes the physical distance barrier.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. We're all so used to the idea of a personal computer, the box sitting right there on your desk. But a device like this proves the computer doesn't need to be present to be personal. If the hardware can be locked away in a basement a quarter mile away while you work perfectly, Why do we still clutter our desks with towers?
That is the real question, isn't it? Maybe in a true post-PC world, the best computer is the one you never even have to see.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.